Hello learners, welcome back. In this video, we are going to solve another question which has been previously asked in SSC JEE examination. And trust me, this is one of the most difficult question I encountered in this paper. So let's see what the question says. The question says the I-beam shown in the figure is simply supported at its end over a span of 4 meter and carries a central load of 50,000 Newton which acts through the centroid, the line of action being shown in the figure. Calculate the maximum stress in the beam. Let's first understand what the question says. Once we understand the question completely, it's very easy task to solve the question. So there are few missing points which I just forgot to mention here. So let me just mention it here. This height is given in the question. So height of the flange is 1.5 centimeter. It is given, and this is 60 degrees. It is given. So these two datas were missing. Now let's first understand the question. It says the beam is simply supported over a span of 4 meters. The beam is something like this. It is a simply supported beam, and how much is the span? The span is 4 meters. So this distance is 4 meters. Now the cross section of the beam is given. The cross section of the beam is not rectangle, but it is I shaped. Okay, this is the I shaped beam where the height from here to here is 55 centimeter. The width is 19 centimeter. The depth of the flange is 1.5 centimeter, and the load of 50,000 Newton, that is, you can say 50 kilonewton, is acting at the centroid of the beam at an angle of 60 degree. And what we have to find? We have to find the maximum stress, where the maximum stress will occur. We have to find it out. So let's first understand what will happen due to this load. See, this load is acting at the centroid of the beam at an angle. We will just resolve these forces into components in the x direction and y direction. So there will be something px, something like this acting, and there will be a py acting, right? So there will be py acting in the y direction. And at which point in the beam this load is acting? This load is acting at the central point of the beam. That means it is acting over here. So this is py. Py will act something like this. And what is the x direction? So this is y direction, this is z direction, this is z direction, this is y direction. And what is x direction? This is the x direction which is coming out from the plane. So if you are looking at the screen, the x direction is coming out of the plane. So if I am drawing this picture, this px here is somewhat like this. This is px. It is coming out of the plane, right? And here, since this is the cross section, it is shown from left to right. If you understand this, it is very good. So this is py and px is in this direction. This is px. Okay. So what will happen due to these loads? Due to py, the beam will deflect something like this, right? So there will be a compression on the top fiber of the beam, and there will be a tension in the bottom fiber of the beam. So what are the top fibers and bottom fibers of the beam? Due to py, there will be a compression in this fiber of the beam. This is the top fiber, right? So compression will occur here. And what will happen in the bottom fiber? There will be a tension force. A tensile force will be acting here. This will be in tension. Now, what will happen with px? See, px is acting in this direction. So due to px, the beam will bulge out of this screen, right? So if this is the beam, is the cross section of the beam, this is the cross section of the beam, then if I am looking from the cross section of the beam, it will bulge something like this, right? This is cross section of the beam and it will bulge something like this. This is the direction of px. So due to px, let me name these points. Let this be point A, this is point B, this is point C, this is point D. Due to px, what will happen? This B and this C will be in tension. These two will be in tension due to Px. Okay, this will be in tension, and these points A and D will be in compression. Okay, so let me write everything very neatly, whatever I have explained you up till here. Now, due to this load, there will be a components of forces which will be acting, something in y direction, this is Py, and one will act in the x direction. Due to Py, AB, that is the top section, will be under compression, and the bottom section, that is DC, will be under tension. Similarly, due to Px, what will happen? Due to Px, this point B and point C will be under tension, and the moment will act something like this. This is the direction of moment. Okay, due to Px, and point A and D will be under compression. This is very vital point to understand. If you understand this, the question will be very easy for you to solve. After this, we can proceed and find the solution of the question. Now, what is the first step? We have to find the stresses. For finding the stresses, we must find the moment first. So our first step is to find out the moment which is acting on the beam. Now, since there are forces in different directions, there are two directions, so there will be two moments, the moment in x direction and moment in y direction. So let's start with first step, that is finding the moments. Even before finding the moments, we have to find the reaction first. Okay, then only we can find the moments. So let's start with finding the reactions. Now I have told you that the beam is simply supported beam, something like this, and the load of 50,000 newtons, that is 50 kilonewton, is acting here. So this is not 50 newtons, is not acting directly in the downward direction. What is acting in the downward direction? Py is acting. So it is 50 sine of theta, right? Sine of 60 degree. If you solve this, you will get the answer as 43.3 kilonewton is acting in this direction, downward direction. So first thing first, we have to find the moment, and 43.3 kilonewton is acting in the downward direction. Now this figure is symmetrical, so reactions will be same. So let this be E and let this be F. So a reaction at E and this will be reaction at F, and they will be same, right? So reaction at E plus reaction at F must be equals to 43.3. Now due to symmetry, what will happen? Both reactions will be same, so we can write 2 into reaction at E must be equals to 43.3. What will you get? You will get 31.65 kilonewtons. This is reaction at E, which is same as reaction at F. 31.65 kilonewtons. Now what will be the bending moment diagram for this? The bending moment diagram will be something like this, and the maximum bending moment will occur at the center of the beam, and the maximum bending moment will be how much? It will be Re into whatever is the length of the beam by 2. So length of the beam was given as 4 meters, is it? So it will be Re into 2 meter. Into 2 meter will give you the maximum moment over here. So maximum moment, and what is this moment? Is it along the x-axis or is it along the y-axis? This is along the x-axis, right? So mx will be how much? It will be 31.65 into 2. So how much it will be? It will again come out to be 43.30. So 43.30 kilonewton meter, and this moment will be sagging moment. The beam will deflect something like this. Now let's calculate the same thing for Px. As I have told you, due to load x, due to Px, what will happen? The beam will deflect something like this. This is the cross section. This is the side view. We are looking at the beam from the side. So if this is the beam, it will deflect something like this, right? What will happen? B and C will be under tension and A and D will be under compression. These points are simply supported, right? These points are simply supported. So there will be a horizontal reaction to it. There will be a horizontal reaction, and horizontal reaction will be symmetrical. So if, let's consider this is Px, these are the horizontal reactions, horizontal E, let me consider this, and horizontal F. So these are points E and F. So horizontal E plus horizontal F will be same as load X. Px is 50 cos theta. Px is how much? Px will be, this is 60 degrees, so it will be 50 cos of theta. So we can write 2HE because HE and HF are same due to symmetry. It will be 50 into cos 60 degree. So 2HE will be 25 kilonewton, or HE is equals to 12.5 kilonewton. So this is the horizontal reactions. So we got the horizontal reactions as 12.5 kilonewton. Now due to this horizontal reactions, the bending moment diagram will be something like this. The beam will bend something like this. The bending moment diagram will be something like this. What will be the maximum bending moment? The bending moment maximum will be along the y direction. Along the y direction, the maximum bending moment will be moment y is equals to 12.5 into this distance. What is this distance? This distance is again 2. So it will come out to be again 25 kilonewton meter. Now, once we got the bending moment, we have to find the stresses, maximum stresses. Now, from the logic, you try to understand where will the maximum stresses will occur. Maximum stress will occur either here in this section, because it is under compression, it is a top fiber, and this fiber is under tension, it is the bottommost fiber. But due to Px, that is moment along y direction, the beam is bending something like this along section y. So this section will be under tension, and this is also under tension. Let me change the color. So this will be under tension, this will be under tension, and these two portions will be under compression. In fact, these two portions will be under compression. So the most critical portions will be points A, B, C and D. If we can check the stresses at these points, we can easily find the maximum stresses. So our next goal is to find the stresses at these points: sigma A, sigma B, sigma C, sigma D. So now we know the moments. How we will find the stresses? From the bending equation, we know that M by I is equals to sigma by Y is equals to E by R. This is the bending equation or the flexure equation. Now, from here we will use this part, M by I is equals to sigma by Y, in order to find this sigma. Now, for finding out sigma, we already have calculated M. The moments about axis x-axis, the moments about the y-axis. We have to find the sigma. Y distance is very easy. The distance of the farthermost point from the axis, this is y. And what is I? I is the moment of inertia, which we still don't know. So this is our next step. We have to find the moment of inertia in order to find out sigma. So first step was to find out the moments. The next step is to find out the moment of inertia. So what moment of inertia do we have to find? We have to find the moment of inertia of this I section about x-x axis along with y-y axis. So both we have to find out. Let's do that. So moving on to the next step, we have to find the moment of inertia. Step 2. So let's first calculate the moment of inertia about the x-x axis. Ixx. We know the moment of inertia of the rectangle, right? So if you look carefully, this I section is composed of a rectangle. If you consider this as a whole rectangle. So this is a whole rectangle. You know the moment of inertia of the rectangle, it is BD cube by 12. If you can subtract this portion which is in gray color from the moment of inertia of the whole rectangle, we will get the moment of inertia of the I section. For that we must know the dimensions. So dimensions are given to you. This is 55 centimeter, this is 19 centimeter. So let's calculate the moment of inertia about the x-axis axis. Instead of b, what we will write? 19b into d cube, that is 55 whole cube by 12, minus we have to subtract this portion. Now for subtracting this, we must know what is the thickness of the I section, but it is not given in the question. Sometimes you will encounter this, that some datas are missing, then you have to assume. So what shall we assume? This thickness of the flange was given to you, it was 1.5 centimeters, so we will assume the same thing. So let the thickness of the web be 1.5. Let's assume the thickness of web as 1.5 centimeter. So once we know the thickness of the web, we can easily subtract this area of the gray portion. It is again BD cube by 12. So what is the breadth now? Breadth is 19 from here to here minus this thickness 1.5 will give you 17.5. So B will be 17.5 into D cube. So what will be depth now? This is 1.5 minus this is also 1.5. So 55 minus 1.5 minus 1.5 will give you 55 minus 3, that is 52 by 12. Now you solve this, you will get the moment of inertia. So this is already calculated. It is 5.837 into 10 to the power 4 centimeter to the power 4. Now we have to convert it to millimeter to the power 4. So let's convert it to millimeter to the power 4. We can write it as 5.837 into 10 to the power 8 millimeter to the power 4. So this I have not calculated. I am just copying from one book, standard book, IES Master. If the calculations are wrong, don't mind, but the concept is correct. Okay. Now we have to calculate IYY. How to calculate that IYY? The moment of inertia about the YY axis. So I am explaining in great detail for those who don't know how to calculate the moment of inertia as well. You can calculate the moment of inertia of this rectangle. It is BD cube by 12. Now you calculate the moment of inertia of this rectangle. It is BD cube by 12. You calculate the moment of inertia of this rectangle. It is BD cube by 12. You add all these three, you will get the moment of inertia of this I section about YY axis. Now let's calculate it for part 1. Let this be part 1. If this is part 1, what is B for this? So let this be part 1. What will be, my question is, what is the breadth for this section? Now we are considering this axis. Whatever length is parallel to that axis will be breadth. So this is the breadth. Okay, B will be 1.5. So BD cube by 12 means B means 1.5 into depth cube. What is depth now? So considering YY axis, whatever is line is perpendicular to that axis will be the depth of the section. So now 19 centimeter, which was earlier acting as the breadth for calculating XX, will be now the depth. So it is BD cube by 12. Now you just multiply it by 2 because the dimensions of the lower flange is also same, right? So BD cube by 12, BD cube by 12 plus, let this be portion number 3. What is B for this? So breadth for this is this line. This line is the breadth because it is parallel to the YY axis. Now what is the length of this one? 55 minus 3 is 52. So now breadth will be how much? B will be 52. What will be the depth? Depth will be whatever is perpendicular to this axis. So 1.5. 1.5 by 12. You calculate this, you will get the answer as 0.1729 into 10 to the power 8 millimeter to the power 4. You will, I have put the units as centimeter. Now if you want to convert it to millimeter, what you have to do, you have to multiply it by 10 to the power 4 in order to convert it to millimeter to the power 4. Okay, so you will get this as Iyy of the section. Okay, so once we know Ixx, once we know Yyy, now our task is very easy. We have to calculate the stresses at all the 4 points. Let's do that. So this is portion A, B, C, D. Now let's calculate for sigma A. Now you have to choose one sign convention. You can choose either tension as positive, you can choose compression as positive, you have to take one as positive, another as negative. You can either choose tension to be positive or you can choose compression to be positive, whatever you want. Let me choose tension as positive. Okay, so I'm choosing tensile force as positive and compression as negative. I'm choosing this. Why we are doing this? Because we have to add these units, and tension and compression are both opposite to each other. So if we don't do that, we'll commit a mistake. So we are choosing either one of the two as positive and one as negative, so that we can add these units. Now let's calculate for point A. Due to moment at X, due to this is the front view, when the beam was moving like this, bending like this point A was under what? It was under compression, right? We have to calculate sigma for this. So we know that M by I is equals to sigma by Y. This is very important. Now this bending of the beam is along, this is mx, moment along x, because the beam is bending like this about xx axis. So point A will be under compression. So let me write here xx, let me write here xx. What will be y then? This distance from the x-axis to point A will be y. This is y. So from here, what will be sigma? Sigma will be m by I into y. We are taking what? Compression as negative, and the point A is under compression. So we will put a negative sign over here. So we'll put a negative sign. What is m now? M means mx. This was mx. 43.3 kilonewton meter. So we'll put this value over here. Now this is 43.3 kilonewton meter. This is 43.3 kilonewton meter. But we have calculated the moment of inertia in millimeters, right? Multiply this unit by 10 to the power 6. You will get in Newton millimeter. Now let's proceed. So I'll multiply this with 10 to the power 6 in order to convert it into Newton millimeter. What is the value of I? I means Ixx. So Ixx I have calculated it as 5.837 into 10 to the power 8. So 5.837 into 10 to the power 8. Now what is the value of y now? Y is how much? It is 55 by 2, right? It is 55 by 2, but not centimeter. We have to take it in millimeters. Don't commit such mistakes. This is very easy. You are in the verge of completing the question correctly, but don't do silly mistakes. You have to put all the units correctly. So it will be 550 by 2. Now put a minus sign, because now we have to add the stress due to px. Remember this, we have to again add stress due to px. Due to px, this A was under compression, this was point A, this point A was under compression, right? So it will again be with a negative sign. So we put a negative sign. What is my now? Because the beam is rotating along the y-axis, right? So we have to put my now. What is my? Here was my was 25 kilonewton meter. Now we cannot put 25 kilonewton meter. We have to put 25 into 10 to the power 6 Newton millimeter. We are converting everything in Newton millimeter. So it will be 25 into 10 to the power 6 Newton millimeter. What is the value of I now? I will be IYY, not IXX. The beam is rotating about the y-axis, so we will be taking IYY. It is 0.1729 into 10 to the power 8. 0.1729 into 10 to the power 8. Now what is the value of y now? The y will be taken from point 8 to this distance. Okay, this distance is 19 by 2. It's not 19 by 2, it is 190 by 2, because we are taking everything in millimeters. So solving this, you will get minus 20.4 minus 137.4 Newton per millimeter square. And 1 Newton per millimeter square is how much? 1 Newton per millimeter square is 1 megapascal. 1 megapascal. You will get answer as minus 157.8 megapascal. Similarly, we are going to calculate it for sigma b. So here is sigma b. Let's calculate sigma b. Sigma is equals to m by I into y, right? Point B will be under compression due to moment at x. Due to moment at x, it will be under compression. So we will put a negative sign, mx by ixx into y. But the same point B will be under tension due to moment at y. Due to my, it will be under tension. So we'll put a positive sign over here, my by iyy into y. So this distance y. Now we'll take this distance from y-axis. So let's put the values. So mx is how much? 43.3 into 10 to the power 6. So minus 43.3 into 10 to the power 6. For B, what is ixx? Ixx is how much? It was 5.837. So 5.837 into 10 to the power 8. Now what is the value of y? Y we will be taking from this point, from x axis. So it will be 55 centimeter, that is 550 by 2. Plus sign, what is my now? My is 25 kilonewton meter, so it will be 25 into 10 to the power 6 into distance y. Distance y will be 190 by 2. So let me just write 190 by 2. Okay, let me write 190 by 2 by IYY. What is IYY now? IYY is 0.1729. 0.1729 into 10 to the power 8. So you will get the answer, you will do the plus minus thing. You will get the answer as 117 megapascal. You will get the answer in Newton per millimeter square. We are finding the stresses. So 117 megapascals. Similarly, let's calculate it for point C. This was point C. For point C, for x-axis axis, this was under tension. The point C was under tension for moment about x-axis axis. So we'll put with a positive sign. We are putting positive sign for tensile stress, right? We are putting positive sign for a tensile stress. We'll put mx into ixx. So same values we are going to put into y. Now you must be aware the distance y will be taking from here to here. Now the same point C is under tension because of moment about y-axis. So again with a positive sign, my iyy into distance y. So what is mx? Mx is 43.3. 43.3 into 10 to the power 6. What is ixx? Same this value. It is 5.837 into 10 to the power 8. What is the value of y? Now y is taken from here to here. So it is 550 by 2 plus sign What is my? My is 25 into 10 to the power 6. Again, what is Iyy? 0.1729 into 10 to the power 8 into what is the distance. Now we will be taking distance from the y axis, right? Y axis. So the distance will be this one of this point C. So distance will be 190 by 2. You solve this, you will get the answer as 20.4 plus 137.4, and that is equals to 157.8 megapascal. Now this is same, this point C will be same as this point A. This point A was under compression due to moment X and moment Y, and rest of the things were same. And this point C was under tension due to moment X and moment Y. Rest all the things were same. So only the sign will change. Here both will be negative. You can see here both the signs were negative as it was under compression, and at sigma C both are positive with the same thing. So this is sigma C. Let's calculate for sigma D, or let me not calculate for sigma D. Sigma D will be same as sigma B with a sign changed, because this point B is under compression due to mx and it is under tension due to my. This is under tension due to mx, which is opposite to B, and it is under compression due to my. So only the things which will change is the sign, and rest everything will remain same. So as sigma D will be nothing but minus 117 MPa, which is opposite to sigma B. So I am leaving this for you to solve. So sigma D, which is here, this is point D, is minus 117 MPa. So from here we got sigma A, sigma B, sigma C, sigma D. What is the maximum stress? So maximum stress is 157.8 MPa. 157.8 MPa. So maximum stress is 157.8 MPa at points at A and C. And what is the difference? At point A it is compression, and at point D, C, it is tension. So this is the maximum stress. Now this was the most important question I have encountered. This was worth 15 marks. I hope you liked it, you understood everything. Bye bye, have a nice day. Do like and follow me for more, and don't forget to join my Telegram channel. If you have any doubts, you can post your doubts and I'll try to resolve your doubts. Till then, bye bye. This is Shraddha Bhati signing off. See you in the next lecture with some new questions.